What should we expect from Ohio State this week?
They're going to win. They're going to win by 3 touchdowns. It's Nebraska. They're terrible. I think you might see a little early season rust. Here's what you got to work. Olave, I think, might be gone. They lost a few receivers from last year. Fields is obviously back, but they don't have Dobbins. It could be interesting how they adjust, but I don't see much issue for Ohio State. They're playing one of the worst teams in the Big Ten, or one of lower-end teams in the Big Ten at home. They have a 95% chance to win, according to FPI. I don't think there's much of a concern here for me. So, yeah, I think the best team poised to challenge them, I'd say Penn State.
We are
Penn State. Yeah. Journey Brown's back. Sean Clifford's back. Their defense is a bit depleted. They lose a few pass rushers, and also Micah Parsons opted out. So that'll be interesting. But it's going to be a team that tries to keep scores low. Ohio State's lost quite a few weapons on offense, so maybe when they play, you see a bit of a closer game than you expected.
But they still have Justin Fields, so that's good.
Yeah, and I mean, we're going to find out how good Justin Fields actually is because he doesn't have the same weapons he had last year.
Yeah, and I agree. Ohio State's going to cut this with the dub. If they don't, then I will pay someone $5. But I am pretty confident that Ohio State is better than Nebraska.
Yeah, last year when Nebraska was considered a dark horse playoff contender, Ohio State beat the doors off them in Nebraska. Yeah, I don't see much of a challenge.
Who can beat the Buckeyes? Penn State.
Yeah,
Penn State, obviously.
Yeah.
Come on.
You could argue Wisconsin too.
You can argue Minnesota.
Yeah.
There's an argument for 3 teams.
The only argument you can't really make is.
Oh man, I wish Harbaugh beat them.
Yeah, he finally gets his win.
Could Penn State potentially be on upset alert soon?
So that's the thing we got to talk about, right? Penn State playing Indiana on the road. Indiana was not a bad team last season.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know Penn State's offense is even more depleted than it was last year. Yes, Journey Brown is still there. Yes, Sean Clifford is there. But KJ Hamler, their top receiving option, is gone. They struggled at times to move the ball offensively, even with Hamler. And it could be it could become a Wisconsin situation if we're being honest. I see them winning. I think it's going to be a good game and a close game, but I think that at the end of the day, this Penn State team has enough to keep the score low, and they'll be able to move it just enough to get the job done in Indiana.
Yeah. When you say upset, do you mean because
the upset alert?
It's not an upset to be freaking Indiana.
Yeah. Well, no. What I'm saying is upset alert. Could they potentially lose to Indiana? Is the question.
Oh.
The probabilities are interesting. It's in Indiana, so.
Dude, no, they're not going to lose to Indiana.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think it could be closer than people expect, but I think they're not going to lose.
Indiana, love y'all. Change your mascot.
It's the Hoosier State. It's the Hoosier State.
It's the Hoosier State. I heard a joke. So a guy lost his ear in a bar fight in Indiana.
Yep.
And then the bartender said, "Whose ear?"
Ha 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 ha. I get it.
Hoosier.
And on that note, we're going to just move to the next question.
Change your mascot. Come on. The Hoosier State isn't even important anymore. All you have is corn.
All right. Fair. All right. Now we got our big talk. Game of the week. It's a big one. We have the Minnesota Golden Gophers, one of Joe's least favorite mascots.
Dude, so
they are hosting on Saturday Night Football the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan in transition a lot from last year. Michigan's projected to win, but they're playing a Minnesota team that brings back a lot of weapons on offense. So, Joe, who are you picking and why?
Picking Michigan. My main reason is Golden Gophers is such a stupid mascot. Second reason is I think, it's going to be a challenge with Minnesota bringing back a lot of good players. But Michigan, I know Harbaugh hasn't done much for them recently, especially in the rivalry against OSU.
He's never beaten them.
Yeah, I know that.
Yep.
But listen, Michigan is still a good team, and they're gonna, they're still gonna try and compete in the Big Ten. Obviously, and the first challenge is going to be Minnesota, which is hard, but they're gonna pull through because that's what they need to do to actually be legit Look, they've had so many years of being the laughingstock because just by not being able to beat OSU. Okay, and they're sick of it. Everyone there is sick of it. I have friends that go to Michigan. I hear stories of just like Ohio State people just going to Michigan, not even for the week, not even for like the rivalry week or anything, just to go there and say, just to trash talk Michigan.
That's incredible.
And I'm like, you got to get a win at some point. This is going to be the start of it.
I have Minnesota. I think that people are really, really gassing Michigan too much. They lost a lot on offense, and that's where they struggled last year. Their defense is still good, but we have to figure out how Dylan McCaffrey fits into that system. Shea Patterson was up and down. If McCaffrey can be better, they win this game. I think Minnesota's defense is a lot weaker than it was last year. But PJ Fleck's a tremendous coach. They have Tanner Morgan back. They have Rashad Bateman, who decided to play after initially opting out. Their offense is decently intact. I'm going to take Minnesota at home on the Saturday night game, but it's going to be close, and it's going to be a classic Big Ten knockdown, grinded out brawl. And honestly, it's a great way to start the season. It's good to see the Big Ten back. Last question, Joe.
Also, wait. We got to, first of all, game of the week. It's not the game of the week.
What is the game of the week?
OSU, Oklahoma State
versus Iowa State.
Yeah, come on.
I think Michigan, Minnesota might be just because it's the opening.
It's the opening of the Big Ten,
and it's on ABC,
teams.
And it's like a big thing.
Oklahoma State, ranked 6,
playing a 17th ranked Iowa State team. I gotcha. Yeah, and one of the best running backs in the nation.
Yeah.
Iowa State's been surprising with a good quarterback in Brock Purdy. Yeah, no, I got you.
And Oklahoma State's obviously going to come on top.
I agree with that. So do you think, last question on this matchup, do you think either of these teams can actually challenge for the Big Ten title? I think Michigan definitely can't, but I'm curious about Minnesota.
Laughing stock.
Yeah, that's why I'm never going to actually give Michigan a legitimate shot to live through
I need to see a week of these guys playing. I'm not going to say Minnesota because I hate them so much. It's just, I'd be fine if you just didn't have the golden in it, but you guys don't win.
Okay.
Get rid of the Golden Gophers. Come on.
Okay.
Michigan, I hope they can become contenders for the playoffs. I feel like they could come close, but they would come short because they're Michigan. But honestly, this conference, so soon to tell because you know what? They've played 0 games.
Facts. Yeah, I don't think.
Okay, and for all I know, Wisconsin is the best team because they've scored a touchdown before anyone else.
Yeah. I don't think either of them have earned that mantra yet. I think Penn State and Wisconsin are still the clearer
contenders. No one's
contenders.
earned the mantra yet. No one's played.
Yeah, I know. But I think you look at the teams and how they've performed and who they bring back. I think right now you need to see a bit from Michigan or Minnesota.
Also, mantra? Really? Are you trying to sound posh?
Okay. Anyway, Joe, what's your upset of the week? This is the last segment we got here. We're going to talk college football. We got a tough weekend ahead. A lot of really interesting games. So, Joe, what would you take for your upset?
SMU beats Cincinnati.
I am fully on there with you. SMU's been great this season. Shane Bukelele has a star quarterback. Cincinnati, it's a clash of styles, right? Because
Shane Bukelele.
Yeah, it's a clash of styles because SMU is a more offensive-minded team. Cincinnati's quarterback is a bit spotty, but their defense is elite, one of the best defenses in the nation. I'm going to lean SMU at home. I think they scored just enough points to get the job done.
Yeah. The only thing is I said it first. Yeah.
Yes. that was my pick as well. If you want to get, risky, you could maybe look at Oklahoma State, Iowa State. You can maybe take Iowa State. I don't think North Carolina is going to lose to NC State, but you never know, especially with the way North Carolina looked for 70% of that game last week. That's my point. And they looked pretty bad for 70% of that game last week, so you don't know there. I think if I'm going to take an upset pick, if you want a monster upset, it'd be NC State. They're favored to lose by 7, or they're supposed to lose by 17. But North Carolina was supposed to blow up Florida State, and look what happened. And North Carolina's been kind of spotty all year. All right.